The ancient pines groaned under the weight of fresh snow as I stumbled through the moonlit forest, legs burning, lungs raw from screaming. My name was Lena Voss, and I was supposed to be dead already. The hunter's arrows had missed my heart by inches, one still protruded from my shoulder, every jolt sending white-hot agony through my body. Blood soaked my cloak and left a bright trail behind me on the virgin snow. They were coming. The entire village, torches flickering between the trees, voices raised in righteous fury. Witch, they had shouted as they dragged me from my cottage. Consorter with darkness. All because I had tried to heal a dying child with herbs they called cursed. Now they wanted my blood to purify their fear. I tripped over a root and crashed face first into the snow. The cold shock stole my breath. I tried to push up, but my arms gave out. This was it. I could already hear the crunch of boots, the metallic whisper of drawn blades. Death was running toward me with 40 torches and hatred in every heart. Then the forest went silent. The wind died. The distant owl calls vanished. Even my own ragged breathing seemed to hush. A low, guttural sound rolled through the trees, like thunder trapped in a throat the size of a horse. The ground trembled once, twice. Snow slid from branches in miniature avalanches. The villagers' chants faltered. From the deep shadows between the oldest pines, it emerged. The beast. Towering nearly 12 feet at the shoulder, it moved on massive clawed paws that left craters in the snow. Matted black fur streaked with silver scars covered a body built like a nightmare fusion of wolf, bear, and something far older. 2 curved horns crowned its massive head, and eyes the color of molten gold burned with intelligence no animal should possess. Its breath steamed in the freezing air, and when it opened its maw, rows of serrated fangs gleamed like daggers. The villagers screamed. Demon! The shadow of the hollow! Run! But the beast did not charge them. It stepped forward, slow, deliberate, until its enormous body stood directly between me and the advancing mob. Its shadow swallowed me whole. I lay there shaking, staring up at the creature the elders had used to terrify children for generations. The monster mothers warned would devour souls. The cursed thing no hunter had ever managed to kill. And it was protecting me. A sob tore from my throat, equal parts terror and desperate relief. I should have been crawling away from it, but my body refused to move. The pain in my shoulder was nothing compared to the storm of emotions crashing through me, fear so sharp it tasted like iron, and a wild, aching gratitude that made my eyes burn with tears. The beast lowered its great head, nostrils flaring as it scented my blood. A soft, almost gentle rumble vibrated from its chest. Not a growl. Something closer to a question. I am not your enemy, I whispered, voice cracking. My hand trembled as I reached up, fingers brushing the coarse fur of its foreleg. It was warm. Shockingly warm. The beast didn't flinch. Instead, it shifted its stance, angling its bulk to completely shield my small, broken body from the torches. The village elder's voice rang out, trembling with fear and fury. See. The witch calls her demon. Kill them both. Arrows whistled through the air. The beast roared. The sound was cataclysmic, deep, primal, shaking snow from every tree for 100 yards. It surged forward with terrifying speed for something so massive. Arrows snapped against its hide like twigs. One found a gap and sank into its shoulder, the beast barely noticed. It swept a paw the size of a barrel and sent 3 hunters flying into the underbrush like broken dolls. Another man swung a flaming torch at its face. The beast caught his arm in its jaws and the scream that followed was mercifully short. I pushed myself up on one elbow, vision blurring from pain and tears. Stop. Please, you don't have to. But the beast wasn't slaughtering for sport. Every movement was precise, calculated to drive the villagers back, never straying far enough to leave me exposed. It was hurting them. Protecting. The realization hit me like a second arrow. This creature they feared, this monster of legend, had chosen me. In the moment when every human hand had turned against me, the beast they feared was the only one standing between me and death. A hunter broke through, young and desperate, sword raised to strike me while the beast was turned away. I cried out in warning. The beast spun impossibly fast, golden eyes flashing with something that looked terrifyingly like rage on my behalf. Its massive jaws closed around the man's torso, not killing, but lifting him and hurling him 30 feet into a snowdrift. Then it wheeled back, placing one enormous paw on either side of my body, lowering its head until its warm breath washed over my face. Those molten gold eyes locked onto mine. I saw intelligence there. Ancient. Sorrowful. And beneath it all, a fierce, protective loyalty that made my chest ache with overwhelming emotion. Why? I whispered, tears freezing on my lashes. Why are you helping me? The beast answered with a sound I felt more than heard, a low, resonant thrum that vibrated through my bones and eased the burning in my shoulder just slightly. Its head dipped lower. A rough tongue, surprisingly gentle, brushed the wound, and fresh pain flared before a strange numbness spread. Healing. The legends had never mentioned that. More arrows came. One grazed the beast's neck, drawing a thick line of dark blood. It snarled but did not retreat. Instead, it curled its massive body around me like a living wall of fur and muscle, taking every projectile meant for my fragile human frame. The pain it endured for me, without hesitation, broke something open inside my heart. I pressed my face into its side, sobbing openly now, fingers clutching fistfuls of its fur. I'm sorry, I cried. I'm so sorry they fear you. I'm so sorry they made you alone. The beast's rumbling deepened, almost soothing, as if it understood every word. Around us the battle raged, the villagers' courage cracking under the weight of legend-made flesh. Some were already fleeing, torches abandoned and sputtering in the snow. The elder screamed for order, but his voice cracked with terror. In that small cocoon of warmth and violence, time stretched into pure suspense. Every roar, every impact of arrow or spear against the beast's hide made my heart seize. Would this be the strike that felled it? Would its protection finally fail? I could feel its massive heart thundering against my cheek, strong and steady despite the wounds. It was exhausted. It was bleeding. And still it refused to abandon me. I won't let them take you either, I whispered fiercely, the words tumbling out between sobs. If you stand for me, I'll stand for you. The beast lifted its head and roared again, this time not in rage, but as a declaration. The remaining villagers broke completely. Torches fell. Footsteps retreated in panicked chaos. The elder's final curse dissolved into a whimper as he fled with the rest. Silence returned, broken only by the soft fall of snow and the beast's labored breathing. It uncurled slowly, revealing me once more. Blood matted its fur in several places. One arrow still jutted from its flank. Yet it lowered itself to the ground beside me, massive head resting near my injured shoulder like an exhausted guardian. Those golden eyes watched me with quiet intensity, no longer terrifying but strangely tender. My hand rose again, trembling, and stroked the side of its massive jaw. Tears streamed freely down my face. They feared you, and you saved the one person they tried to kill. You're not a monster. You never were. The beast exhaled a long, warm breath that stirred my hair. In that moment, with death driven back into the trees and the forest holding its breath around us, the emotional weight of everything crashed down. I had been alone, hunted, betrayed by everyone I once called neighbor. Now this feared creature, this living legend, had bled for me. Protected me when no one else would. The bond forming between us felt ancient and fragile and impossibly strong all at once. I curled closer into its warmth, pain and exhaustion pulling me toward unconsciousness. The beast shifted, draping part of its thick tail over me like a blanket, shielding me from the cold night. "They'll come back," I murmured sleepily, fear flickering again. "With more men. More weapons." The beast's golden eyes narrowed, glowing with fierce promise in the moonlight. Its low rumble seemed to say, "Let them." As darkness edged my vision, I kept one hand buried in its fur, heart swelling with a fierce, protective love I had no name for yet. The beast they feared was the only one standing between me and death. And in the quiet, blood-stained snow beneath the ancient pines, I realized I would rather die beside this monster than live among the humans who had cast me out. The forest watched. The wind whispered. And together, wounded girl and wounded beast, we waited for whatever dawn would bring, bound by blood, choice, and the kind of loyalty that could shake the world.